75% of the people who set New Year's resolutions give up by February. Let me say that again. Only 1/4 of the people who create New Year's resolutions end up staying committed after 30 days. Crazy, right? But that's not even the crazy part. Listen to this. Out of those 25% that stay committed after 30 days, only 10% of those people actually end up achieving their goals. So if my math is correct, and it may not be correct, it could be off, but by the sound of it, only about 2 to 3% of the people that set New Year's resolutions actually end up achieving those goals. Only 3%. Crazy, right? Now, do you want to be part of that 3%? Or are you going to be part of the big statistic of 97% that end up not achieving their goals? So whether your goal is to save some money, exercise more, eat healthier, lose weight, or simply just to be happier, the evidence is clear that you have over a 90% chance of failing. And most of these failures can be attributed to these three things. It could be that you are setting unachievable goals, something that you physically cannot accomplish. Maybe you're putting too much on your plate, so you're wanting to accomplish too much in such a short amount of time. Or you simply just lack the motivation to keep going. This simply means that your why is not strong enough. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to change that this year so that way that you can finally achieve your goals. So last year I set some goals, and by the end of this last year, I ended up achieving some of my goals. But I still lacked consistency and I lacked accountability. Now I'm going to talk a bit more about the accountability piece and how much that has helped me to make progress on my goals, and how you can use the same thing to help you, and how I'm actually doing that right now to help me achieve my goals. So the fact that I've achieved some of my goals actually made me a lot happier. But at the same time, the fact that I didn't achieve all of my goals made me not too entirely thrilled with myself for letting myself down. And this eventually led to negative self-talk due to me breaking a precious bond with myself, which is my word. And that actually led to less than desirable outcomes because my self-talk was negative. And when you have negative self-talk, the universe mirrors that negative self-talk into your physical world. So mindset is pretty much everything. You have to go into this with a positive mindset. You have to go into it believing that you can actually achieve your goals, and the universe will mirror that. So here's the plan for this year. Here's what we're going to do. You and I both, we're doing this together. And if you are starting this after the new year, that's completely fine. If you're starting in the middle of the year, that's completely fine. It really doesn't matter. This isn't just about New Year's resolutions. This is about setting goals and achieving goals. And here's how we're going to do that together. First, we must make a commitment to ourselves. I think it's really funny how when we start a job, we make a commitment to that job. So we tell the employer that, hey, we're going to be there from 9 to 5 every single day. And for the most part, we end up sticking to our word, correct? So why is it that we have such a hard time making that same commitment to ourselves? We say we're going to do something, but we don't end up doing it. Now imagine if you had a job and you told your boss that you'll be there Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and you only end up showing up Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You don't show up Tuesdays and Thursdays. Do you really think you're going to continue having that job for a very long time? Or is there a high chance that you breaking your word to your employer is going to result in you getting fired? Chances are you most likely will get fired. So this means that if you want to achieve any goal, you have to make a commitment to yourself. You have to make a commitment that you will show up for yourself in the way that you say you will. Now, this doesn't mean you have to show up every single day, but if you say you're going to show up every day, then it means you will show up every single day. If you say you're going to do it once a week, that means your commitment is once a week. That means you have to keep your word to yourself once a week. So here's how to get started. First, obviously, you have to make that commitment. You have to make a commitment that you will keep your word to yourself, first and foremost. Second, you have to make a commitment that you will confront any limiting beliefs that come up along the way, because at the end of the day, this is a mental game. And when you confront those limiting beliefs, you have to make a commitment to reprogram your subconscious mind to no longer accept those limiting beliefs, make them into more empowering beliefs. So once you've made this commitment to yourself, and you 100% believe that you are making this, and you 100% believe in yourself that you can actually do this, here's where we get started. First, we need to figure out where exactly we want to be. Like, what do we want to accomplish? Like, what are our goals? What's the grand goal? Like, envision in your mind a year from now where you want to be. See the things that you want to see. Feel the things that you want to feel, hear the things that you want to hear, even fucking smell the things that you want to smell. Like, make the vision so fucking clear that there's no doubt in your mind that this is actually fucking real. Like, it has to be real in your mind first before it becomes real in the physical sense. This is what's going to get you there. This is what's going to propel you to take action on your goals. If your goal is not in alignment with your higher self, meaning it's not coming directly from God, meaning you're just trying to please others, or you're doing something because you think others want you to do that, really sit down and figure out what it is that you want, and only you. Don't think about what others want of you. Think about what you want. Sit in deep meditation. If it has to take a fucking hour, let it take an hour. Sit in deep silent meditation and listen. Just listen to that voice of God. Listen to what it is telling you and where it is guiding you. Don't let your ego get in the way. Don't let your emotions get in the way. Don't let other people's voices get in the way. Simply listen and be aware of what you're being guided to pursue. Once you have this grand vision of where you want to be in a year from now, first we need to reverse engineer that and figure out what we need to do to get there. And not only what we need to do, but also what kind of person we need to become in order to achieve those goals. And quite frankly, I don't care what your goals are. Your goals are yours. And it's up to you to figure out how you can achieve those goals. If you struggle with figuring out what steps you need to take to achieve those goals, find somebody that's already achieved what you want to achieve and model them. Figure out what they do on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, monthly basis, yearly basis, what they do to reach their goals. Figure out what kind of person they are that allows them to be worthy of those goals. Now, when I say be worthy of their goals, I want you to understand one thing. You are already worthy of achieving everything that your mind and heart desire. The problem is those limiting beliefs. The problem is the subconscious programming that you have within. This subconscious programming comes most likely from your early childhood days up to age 7. Not 100% of the time. Sometimes it happens in adulthood. But most of the time, these limiting beliefs and these less than desirable programs that are stuck in your subconscious come from the early ages of your childhood. Now remember, we already made a commitment to confront these limiting beliefs, and we made a commitment to reprogram the subconscious mind. And most of the time, if you struggle with achieving a certain goal, it's most likely because you feel unworthy of that goal. And it's not your fault. That programming actually had its purpose when you were younger. It actually kept you safe. It was a good thing. But now that you're an adult, it's no longer serving you. And we must reprogram that limiting belief. We must reprogram those subconscious thoughts that we have about ourselves. And a lot of these limiting beliefs will come up during our journey on achieving these goals. And I'm willing to bet that majority of the people that give up on their goals is because they're not dealing with these limiting beliefs. They're not dealing with the subconscious programming. So that's going to be one of the toughest things that you end up doing, is confronting these limiting beliefs and reprogramming the subconscious mind. Keep that in mind. There are definitely ways to do that, and I've done that myself, and it's possible. It's not easy, but it is simple. It's simple in the way that, hey, I'm noticing I have this limiting belief of I'm not worthy of achieving, $1 million a year. Well, where does this limiting belief come from? Why do I have this limiting belief? What can I do to change this limiting belief? Is this even true? Am I actually worthy of achieving $1 million a year? The answer is yes. The answer is yes, you're worthy of achieving everything that your heart desires. Now, your subconscious mind doesn't want you to believe that because you have programmed your mind from the early ages that money doesn't grow on trees. Money is the root of all evil. We can't afford that. And so on and so forth. So you can see kind of where these limiting beliefs stem from. Like I said, mostly they come from the early ages of 0 to 7 years old, but not necessarily. They could come from adulthood. So we need to confront all of this. We need to figure out what limiting beliefs we have, and we need to figure out how we can reprogram these limiting beliefs. So that's probably the most important thing during goal setting and during achieving your goals, during this journey of accomplishing these New Year's resolutions or just goals in general, is confronting limiting beliefs and reprogramming the subconscious mind. So once we understand that, we can go into actually planning out our year and figuring out how we can actually go from where we are to where we want to be. And like I said earlier, it has to do with what we need to do to get from point A to point B and who we need to become to get from point A to point B. It's that simple. So let's dive into it. And this is how we are going to create a strategy for achieving our goals. So it starts with a plan. We have to have a plan, right? Our plan is how we're going to go from A to B. And if you have trouble creating a plan, feel free to reach out to me or just find somebody that already has what you want and figure out what they did to get there and who they needed to become to get there. So that's the plan. The plan is, what do I need to do and who do I need to become to go from where I'm at now to where I ultimately want to be? That's the plan, right? Once we have a plan, now we need to create a schedule around that plan. We need to figure out on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis, and on a daily basis what we need to do to get closer to point B, which is our end goal. And what this schedule does is it helps us create structure in our life, and ultimately it will help us create a system for achieving our goals. Now, this schedule is going to vary across every single person. It really depends on your goals and it depends on your current lifestyle. So if you have kids, obviously you don't have as much time as somebody who's single and doesn't have kids. If you have a 9 to 5, your schedule is going to vary greatly from somebody who is self-employed, because now they get to call the shots versus a 9 to 5. Okay, I can't plan anything from 9 to 5, right? Because I already have a commitment from 9 to 5, which means I can't work on my own personal stuff during that time. But luckily, we have 24 hours in a day. Let's say you sleep 8 of those hours, which leaves 16 hours left. Let's say you work 8 of those hours, which leaves you another 8 hours. Let's say you have other commitments that take maybe another 3 to 4 hours, which still leaves you 5 or 4 hours to dedicate to your personal growth, which is plenty of time. I promise you, if you just take 1 hour per day, you can achieve most of your goals. But they have to be fully focused hours. You have to focus only on that thing for that hour. Now, the more time you spend, the better your chances are, of course. Now, without a set schedule, you're not going to have a structured life. You're not going to be able to create a system around achieving your goals. So make sure you have your schedule dialed in. Make sure your sleep is dialed in. So 3 of the most important things that I want you to focus on if you aren't already focusing is your sleep. It's extremely fucking important. Your nutrition, extremely fucking important. Eat whole foods, eat only clean ingredients. I follow the 80-20 principle, which 80% or at least 80% of my foods must be whole ingredients. They must be unprocessed foods. And the third thing you must focus on is exercise. I don't care how the fuck you get your exercise. You could just go for a walk. You could go run. You can go to the gym. You can bike. You can swim. You can hike. Whatever it is that you want to do, you just need to get exercise. Okay? At least the bare minimum is 30 minutes per day. Take 30 minutes per day and go for a walk. Go out in nature. Do some body weight exercises. Do some yoga. Like, I don't give a fuck, bro. Like, do something to move your body and to get your blood flowing. Get your heart pumping. Like, these are non-negotiables, okay? Like, I want you to understand that these are non-negotiables. Your sleep is extremely fucking important. So is your nutrition, and so is the exercise that you get. Like, these things are not negotiable. Stop fucking around. Stop wasting your fucking life. Start dialing in those 3 things. If you can dial in those 3 things, the rest will take care of itself for the most part. Now, don't be super fucking strict on yourself at the same time. You want to have that balance. That's why I follow the 80-20 principle. If 80% of the time I get proper sleep, I'm fucking happy. If 80% of the time I get proper nutrition, I'm fucking happy. If 80% of the time I meet my exercise goals, I'm fucking happy. Obviously, I aim for 100%, but 80% is the minimum for me. Bare minimum. So once you understand that you must take care of the sleep, the nutrition, and the exercise, we can move into creating a structure around everything else and even how you can fit in some of these things into your daily schedule. So one of the greatest tips I have for you here is to track everything. I use Notion for tracking. I track my habits. I track my meals. I track my finances. I track my content creation. I track the people I come in contact with. Dude, like, I track everything, man. I used to wear a Whoop because it allowed me to see how well I slept. It allowed me to see how much exercise I was getting. It allowed me to see a lot of information about my vitals that I really enjoyed seeing, and it helped me a lot. I don't wear it anymore because now I kind of understand how certain things affect me. I understand that if I go to sleep late at night, I'm not going to feel great. I understand that if I don't set up my day the night before, then I'm not going to have a fantastic day because, quite frankly, I'm not going to know what to do. I know how much strain I get from running 3 miles versus running 6 miles versus weightlifting versus just walking versus hiking. Like, I understand these metrics because I was tracking everything through the Whoop. And now that I have the information that I need, I no longer need to track those metrics. But I still track everything else. I still track my habits. Like, I want to look back at every single year and see the correlation between my habits and my results. That's ultimately what it comes down to. Tracking everything allows you to see the correlation between what you're doing and what you're getting. So track everything, track as much as you can. If you need help with tracking anything, let me know. I can share some of the Notion templates that I use, or you can simply just use a pen and paper. It's really simple, man. Don't overcomplicate it. But again, if you need help, you let me know and I will be more than happy to help. Message me on Instagram. That's usually the best way for me to connect with other people. So reach out to me on Instagram if you need help with any of this stuff. I'm more than happy to help out. So with that being said, I split up my days into 3 different parts. I have the morning mastery, I have the day mastery, and I have night mastery. And I'm going to go through each individual one and tell you exactly what they're for, what I use them for, and maybe you can incorporate some of these into your life as well. And I hope that it does help. And then one of the last things I want to mention is the accountability piece. So last year, one of my biggest habits was to wake up at a specific time. I believe it was at 5 o'clock at that time. And for the first half of the year, I fucking struggled, bro. Like, yeah, I woke up here and there, but I wasn't consistent. And I lacked accountability. I had nobody keeping me accountable besides myself. And as we all know, being accountable to ourselves is extremely hard because, quite frankly, there are no consequences. If we don't keep our word to ourselves, there are no immediate consequences. There are consequences, but it takes a while for them to show up. The first few months of the previous year, I struggled with waking up on time, and I had this idea of, hey, what if I put myself out there and I actually had something to lose if I didn't wake up on time? And by something to lose, I mean, I didn't want to look bad in front of others. I didn't want others to judge me for not doing what I said I would do. So what I decided to do is I posted on my Instagram story that I am committing to waking up on time for the next 2 months. And guess what, bro? I literally dominated those 2 fucking months. I believe the months were June and July. I literally didn't miss a fucking day. Why? Because I was holding myself accountable through social media. I was posting every single morning on my Instagram stories that I was waking up at that time. And it was a lot easier for me to do that because I didn't want to look like a fucking idiot. I didn't want to look like a fucking fraud. I didn't want to look like a fucking failure. I was afraid of the judgments of others for not keeping my word to myself. And that may sound superficial or whatever, but dude, I don't give a fuck. That shit worked. I promise you that shit worked. And that's exactly why I'm making this video here, is because I want to keep myself accountable. And I want you to do the same thing. If you don't want to post on social media publicly, reach out to me. I will be your accountability partner. DM me on Instagram and we will keep each other accountable. I promise this will help you more than almost anything. So reach out, let's be accountability partners, or if you feel comfortable doing it, put it on social media. Even if you feel uncomfortable doing it, I still urge you to put it on social media. But I understand if you don't want that kind of publicity, so reach out to me if that's the case. All right, let's get into the 3 different parts of the day: morning mastery, day mastery, and night mastery. Day mastery, for the most part, if you have a 9 to 5, that's going to be your day mastery, is your job. If you don't have a 9 to 5, day mastery is going to be whatever work you need to do to reach your goals. Day mastery is all about work. Work. Day mastery is about putting in the work that directly correlates to whatever your job is. If you're an entrepreneur, this is the time that you spend on building your business. If you are a 9 to 5 employee, this is the time that you spend going all in on your 9 to 5. I don't care how much you get paid. Your effort must be to your maximum capacity. Every time you go into work, I don't give a fuck if you are a janitor. You must be the best fucking janitor there is. Simple as that. And if you're not a 9 to 5 employee, you must be the best fucking entrepreneur there is. Focus on your craft and create the best version of yourself through your craft. Now, the 2 important things are night mastery and morning mastery. And each of these focus on 3 things: mind, body, spirit, or soul, whatever you want to call it. I don't give a fuck. It's spiritual. Mental, physical, and spiritual. Okay? This is what we're going to focus on during morning mastery and during night mastery. You don't need a lot of time. If you only have 1 hour per day to dedicate to your personal development, spend 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes at night. If you have more than that, great, spend more than that. If you have an hour in the morning and an hour at night, that's fucking fantastic. I personally spend 2 hours in the morning on morning mastery, on building the best version of myself, and 1 hour at night getting prepared for sleep and preparing for the next day. So morning mastery consists of 3 M's: memoir, move, meditate. Memoir is simply journaling. Journal your thoughts. Put down on paper what you are thinking. Don't put any filters on it. Nobody's going to see this except you. Get yourself a journal that you will enjoy using. Get yourself a nice pen that you enjoy writing with, because I want you to ensure that you do this every single morning. Get your thoughts on paper. This way you start your morning with a clean slate. The next thing is move. This pretty much can be anything that gets you moving. You can hit the gym. You can just stretch if you want to. You can go do some yoga. Or you can just go for a walk or for a run. Pretty much anything that gets you moving. That's the second M. The third M is meditate. I want you to sit in silent meditation for 10 to 20 minutes. Or you can even do some breath work. Breath work is a great alternative to meditation because it brings you into that meditative state a lot quicker. There are a bunch of apps that you can use for meditations and breath works. I like the app Othership, and I like the app Insight Timer. And YouTube is amazing as a free alternative that has a wealth of meditations and breathworks and yoga sessions and stretching sessions and bodyweight exercises and whatever the fuck you want. Like, YouTube is a gold mine. So make sure you use it. So those are the 3 things I want you to focus on in the morning. Like I said, this can literally take you 30 minutes. You can journal for 10 minutes. You can stretch for 10 minutes. And you can meditate for 10 minutes. Boom, there goes 30 minutes. Now you've hit your mind, your body, and your soul. You've hit all 3 of the major aspects of life within the first 30 minutes of your day. This is how you get an amazing start to your day. The more time you can spend on these in the morning, the better. But I understand if you're tight on time. I understand if you have kids to take care of. I understand. But I also understand that you can at least find 30 minutes in your day. So after morning mastery, you got day mastery, which you go to your work, to your job, or you start putting in the work to create your own business or whatever it is that you're wanting to create as a career. And then again at night, we're focusing on mind, body, soul. We're focusing on those 3 things in the morning and at night. So there are 3 things that I want you to focus on when it comes to mind, body, soul. First thing is I want you to read. Again, let's just assume that you have 30 minutes in your day. I want you to focus on reading 10 minutes a night. Okay. Whatever book you choose. I prefer personal development stuff that I can actually learn something from versus just being entertained by. Considering you're here listening to me, I'd assume that you also want to become the best version of yourself. So find a personal development book that you can read at least 10 minutes every night. Another thing I want you to focus on is reviewing. This is similar to the journal at the beginning of the day, except now what you're doing is you are reviewing your day, what went well, what didn't go so well, and what you can do to create a better version of yourself tomorrow. So essentially, you're reviewing your day, but also planning for the following day. If you don't plan your day the night before, you're setting yourself up for failure. So plan your day the night before and review the day that just passed. And the very last thing I want you to do is relax. I want you to actually take a break. I want you to take a break from screens and really just relax. This can kind of be a meditation in a way, but you don't have to sit in silence or anything like that. Like whatever you want to do, just relax. No screens though. You want to get rid of screens at least an hour before bedtime. So that way your brain has time to start producing melatonin and get ready for sleep. This will ensure that you have high quality sleep. So morning mastery, day mastery, night mastery, mind, body, soul during morning and night mastery, and day mastery is focused on work. I have 2 blocks of work which for me is 4 hours and then another 4 hours. I'll work for 4 hours, take a break, maybe 30 minutes or so, go outside, go for a walk, and then I'll do another 4 hours of work. Obviously, I don't work the full 4 hours. I will, sometimes I'll use the Pomodoro technique where I'll work for maybe 90 minutes or 60 minutes or 45 minutes or whatever the case may be. I'll work for that bout of time, and then I'll take a 5 to 15 minute break, which doesn't mean get on your phone and start scrolling, because that's quite frankly not a break. You're still using your mind. But yeah, I'll do like 45 minutes, 15-minute break, 45 minutes of work, 15-minute break, 45 minutes of work, 15-minute break, and so on and so forth. Whatever you need to do, that's up to you. Make sure you take care of it. So morning mastery, night mastery, and day mastery. Take care of that work, my friend. Ultimately, what it comes down to is you figuring out what kind of habits you need to ingrain in your life to reach that goal that you set for yourself. You don't have to do exactly what I just said, but I like to focus on mind, body, soul. That allows me to have that full balance in my life, and then focus a lot of my day on work, on creating the business that I want to create. Now, not only do you have to set up habits that you want to ingrain in your life, you also have to create anti-habits, which at the end of the day, I personally believe that these are even more important than what you do. So what you don't do is more important than what you do. This is a removal process, okay? We must remove all the things that don't bring us closer to our goals. So this could be procrastination. This could be laziness. This could be junk food. This could be alcohol. This could be sleeping in. This could be drugs. This could be doom scrolling. This could be pornography. It could be anything that you know is holding you back. You must get rid of anything that puts you in the low frequency state. After you doom scroll, you feel like shit. I know you do. After you partake in drugs that you know you shouldn't be partaking in, you feel like shit. After you eat that junk food that you know you shouldn't be eating, you feel like shit. And I promise that this is impacting you in such a negative way that you're not even fucking aware of. The elimination process is a lot more important than the addition process. Remove everything that's not serving you. Now, if you followed the outline I just put in front of you, you won't have time to partake in those things. If you keep yourself accountable on your social media, or to somebody that you know personally, or to me even, chances are you're going to get rid of these anti-habits. You're going to get rid of the procrastination, the sleeping in, the junk food. Like, you're going to get rid of that naturally, because you just don't have time to waste. You don't have time on your schedule that allows you to doom scroll, that allows you to partake in these drugs and alcohol and whatever else. Fill your time with things that get you closer to your goal, and these anti-habits will just fall away. Now, if you're struggling with getting rid of certain things, that should be your goal. If you struggle with eating junk food, that should be one of your goals. You should figure out how to get rid of the fucking junk food. If you struggle with alcohol abuse, that should be one of your goals. You need to figure out how the fuck to get rid of the alcohol abuse. Okay? These are the anti-habits. Sometimes you don't actually need to make that a goal. You just need to stay away from those certain things. For me, sometimes I get into doom scrolling, and it's hard to rely on free will on certain things. So what did I do? I made that one of my goals, and How did I achieve that goal of stopping doom scrolling? Well, the easiest way was to set up a blocker on my phone. There's apps out there that will block you from going on social media, block you from doom scrolling. If you have an addiction to pornography, there are ways for you to get rid of any pornography sites out there by using blockers, right? If you're wanting to stop drinking, well, stop fucking going to the bar. Stop fucking hanging out with people who drink. Stop fucking buying it. At the end of the day, the choice is yours. And ultimately, it's up to you to figure out how you can get rid of these things that are no longer serving you. So just to recap, you have over a 90% chance of failing if you don't follow what I just outlined. And what I just outlined is, first of all, make a commitment to yourself that you will keep your word to yourself. Make a commitment to yourself that you will confront all of your limiting beliefs. Make a commitment that you will reprogram your subconscious mind regardless of what it takes. Once you've made these 3 commitments to yourself, figure out what your grand vision is. Where do you want to be? Where do you see yourself a year from now? Step 2 is figure out what you need to do to get there. Step 3, figure out what kind of person you need to become to be worthy of those goals. And now remember, you're already worthy of everything that you desire. It's just your limiting beliefs and your subconscious programming is what's keeping you from feeling that worthiness. And once you've figured out the grand vision, what you need to do, and who you need to become, figure out what the plan is. How will you actually get there? Create a schedule around that plan. Create a structure in your day. So morning mastery, day mastery, and night mastery. And make sure you have a system in place that will allow you to stay accountable to yourself and maybe to others. Keep track of everything. Keep track of your habits. Keep track of how well you're doing, how well you're feeling. Journal everything, whatever it takes, man. Just keep track of everything. Create that structure in your day and create systems that will allow you to get to your goals. And if you don't do anything else, take care of your sleep, take care of your nutrition, take care of your exercise. And I want you to split up your days into 3 different parts: morning mastery, day mastery, night mastery. Morning mastery and night mastery are focused on your personal development. Day mastery is focused on your career, whatever that may be, whether it's a job or you are self-employed, entrepreneur, whatever you're creating. This is the time to focus on that. Morning mastery, night mastery for your personal development, day mastery for your career. And last but definitely not least, get rid of what's no longer serving you. It's that fucking simple. I have no doubt that you will be part of the 10% that actually achieves their goals. I have no doubt that you know exactly what to do. I have no doubt that I will see you at the fucking top, my friend. So with that being said, I hope you've got massive value from this episode. I hope that you are able to take something from this and finally achieve the goals that you want to achieve. If you need help with anything, feel free to reach out to me. If you want an accountability partner, reach out to me. Or better yet, just post it on your social media. Leave a comment down below on what your goals are and what you're going to achieve finally this year and how you're going to make this your year. And if you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you come back and let's connect. Let's stay connected. Let's motivate each other. Let's keep each other accountable. Let's fucking go. I'll see you in the next one.